Hi everyone and welcome back to Scale Studio. Today we start something completely different than anything we've done before. Tabletop miniatures games. Since I am a complete Star Wars nerd, my friend Tyler and I will be unboxing the Star Wars Legion starter set. Also, before we begin, make sure to subscribe and give Tyler a big welcome in the comments. So immediately we can see the large rulebook and sheet of tokens for the game. The rulebook and tokens will be detailed in a later video, so keep your eye out for that, and don't forget to subscribe so you're notified when it does come out.
So, Fantasy Flight usually separates their decks into large and small cards, and here we've got our 34 large ones included in the game. Right now, here's the 14 command cards, and these essentially determine who goes first and what squads basically get priority. And then we've got our 8 unit cards, and these pretty much list the stats of our individual units on both sides. And finally, the 12 battle cards, and these detail combat employment and events, and these are like everything from new mission objectives to bad weather. So Fantasy Flight really kicked it out of the ballpark with their incredible detail.
Next up, we've got the small cards, which are upgrade cards in this game. First, we have 2 Stormtrooper Trooper cards, 2 Rebel Trooper cards, 2 DLT-19 Stormtrooper Heavy cards, 2 HH-12 Stormtrooper Heavy cards, 2 MPL-57 Ion Trooper Heavy cards, 2 Z6 Trooper Heavy cards, and then we've got 3 cannon upgrades, 10 Force abilities for the 2 Jedi that we have, and these can't be used for anything but the Jedi, obviously. After that, we've got 4 Concussion Grenade cards, then 4 Targeting Scope cards, and finally 2 Long-Range Comlink cards.
So also here, we've got our base plates. You'll notice that some are larger than others. These here are the ones for our ATRT and 2 speeders, and you notice they have notches. Also, we've got smaller base plates for the miniatures, and you can see that some are red and some are gray based off of the side. And right here are the movement markers, and these govern movement at different speeds, so you just snap them together like so. You've got a nice little hinge. And finally, we've got 4 range markers, and these pretty much determine the range of projectile weapons. So here they are. You can see you can just snap them together like so.
Next up, we've got the dice, and there are a ton of dice in this game. In fact, the game requires so many dice that there are expansion packs just of dice. So we've got 9 attack dice, which are the diamond-shaped ones, and then 6 defense dice, which are the cubed-shaped ones. So for each one, white dice are the worst. They have the least amount of hits and crits possible. Red dice are the best, and black are somewhere in the middle. And you can see that each one has a critical hit, a surge, and a normal hit. We'll get into more detail about that later.
And here we've got the Barricades, and these are super fun because there's 8 of them, and they're in 2 different styles. So let's see right over here. This is style number 1. Check out the detail on that. That's pretty incredible. And here's number 2. So it's slightly different, but not super significantly. And here we have our 74Z speeder bikes. as seen in Return of the Jedi. And a whole bunch of other expanded universe stuff. Now, as you can see, just looking at them, they look super cool. They have lots of tiny details, so now we've got them closer up. Some assembly required, many small parts, but I feel like these are going to be one of my favorite parts of the set.
Now we move on to the Rebel ATRT Walkers. These were primarily used by the clones in the Clone Wars, and I don't really know about them actually being used in the Rebellion. It's very well that they could have been, since they were army surplus at that point and they're still highly mobile, but it seems like Fantasy Flight was just trying to get a light vehicle for the Rebels. Now you can see in more detail here that the two legs slide onto two pegs on the main chassis, and then the armor plate just goes on the front. The armor plate's a little hard if you're just dry fitting, but the legs stick on and stay strong. Other than that, it actually looks pretty well detailed. There's a little bit of flash, but that seems to be the general idea in this set. After that, you can see that there are 3 weapon options: a minigun, a cannon, and a flamethrower, and then some shocks and antennas.
So here we've got the Scout Troopers. These are the little riders. This guy is the speeder bike unit leader. He's their commander, and you can differentiate him because he's leaning forward, and that's really incredible detailing. Meanwhile, we've got the just normal speeder bike trooper. And just so you know, both are 3 pieces. And here we've got our troopers. First of all, we've got our unit leader, and you can tell him he's got the pauldron, the outstretched hand, ordering his troops into battle. Next, we've got the DLT-19 Stormtrooper. These are the heavy dudes, and they've got some really cool armor. Mounted on his knee is the HH-12 Stormtrooper with his, I believe that's an ion cannon, or some sort of cannon. He'd be a sharpshooter. And from then on, we just have stormtroopers in various poses. So we can see this one's sort of advancing forward, crouched over. This one's firing at something. And man, just take a look at that detail. That's pretty incredible. And I really appreciate the lengths they went through to make them all unique in their own sort of way. So altogether, I think this is going to be a really fun set to detail and paint.
So first up, we've got the ATRT figure, the driver figure. He has an assault rifle, which I don't understand. Why would you be driving a walker and have an assault rifle? But other than that, the figure's nice and looks quite realistic in its pose. After that, we have the 7 men who make up a unit. These men come in pairs so that you can make 2 units. First, we've got the commander figure with goggles and a beard and an assault rifle, as well as a pair of binocs, which are going to be fun to do some glowing effects on, possibly. I have noticed that on most wargaming minis, the folds of the cloth and the weapons they hold are much exaggerated, but I think that adds to the wargaming feel of it. Otherwise, it looks really good. Next, we've got the heavy, and you can see that he's holding his Z6 rotary cannon, has a backpack, and another assault rifle on the back. Don't know why you would hold or carry an assault rifle with you when you're using a Z6, but that's besides the point. He has a little bit of flash, and his arm doesn't quite fit into the socket, but other than that, I think a little bit of tweaking will make him look really nice. Then we've got the ion cannon. This one's basically the Rebels' anti-armor unit. She has a smaller carbine strapped to her back, and that makes a lot more sense for that figure. Then we've got a really cool addition to this set, and that's the Duro. And because he's an alien, he's probably going to have his own separate video on how to paint his skin. Other than that, a nicely detailed character. Then from there, we've just got different troopers in random poses.
So right here we've got our commanders, and I find it really cool that Fantasy Flight packaged all three in one bag. So we've got Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and the ATRT pilot. Since we've already gone over the ATRT rider, let's take a closer look at the two commanders.
So Luke is made out of two pieces, the arms and then the body. The arms actually don't fit very well into the sockets, and so we're going to have to do a lot of cleanup on that. Otherwise, it's a well-made mini, and we'll have fun with it.
And here, we've got the Dark Lord of the Sith himself, Darth Vader. That's actually tremendous detailing on the cloak. And I really appreciate the lightsaber, though it will need some straightening out, but besides that, it looks pretty nice.
And that's all we have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you're having a wonderful Christmas. As always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to let me know by dropping a like down below, and make sure to subscribe to help me out and be notified whenever Tyler or I release next. If you want to be Scale Santa, check out my Patreon page where you can get great perks and also almost daily workbench updates. Again, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.